The 2008, this is now an economic argument, okay? A neoclassic economic argument. The 2008 crisis and the debate after the 2008 crisis, in part, was also dominated by the question about what is private and what is public. This is a whole debate about in the last 2 or 3 years about bail-in and bail-out legislation. But the question, who is liable, who is responsible for it? Should we run rather a private model or rather a public model? And this goes back to this seminal work of Garrett Hardin in 1970 in Science, The Tragedy of the Commons. You should read that article. Triggering a 40-year debate in economists, which ended a couple of years ago with the Nobel Prize to Ostrom on commons. I think if you go through that debate, you might identify that there is a part of the debate that did not happen. And I only kind of mention this small segment of it. And it refers also to the discussion we just had. Look at these data. These are data of Standard and Poor values 500 of about 100 years. Historical data with an arithmetic average compared to 3 months treasuries and 10 years treasuries. Okay? This is not surprising. I mean, it's normal stuff. What you see is if someone invested over 100 years in Standard & Poor's values, he would get about 10% out of it a year. If you do the same 10-year treasury bills, you would get about 5% out of it. Globally, generally. It's not exciting. The exciting part is this. And here are only 19 of them. There's more. There's rocket science behind it. You can download all the findings from the Nobel Prize winners' Copenhagen Consensus 2015. The interesting part is, on an average, investing in global commons has a return of investment by factor 100 more than investing in Standard & Poor's values a year. That's interesting. This is not modeling. This is empirical data. Okay? And it's not my data. Okay? So when we're talking about the real tragedy, not the tragedy of Harding, but the real tragedy of the global commons, from an economic perspective, we have the following problem. Within the given Pareto optimum paradigm, investing into commons through one monetary system always ends up being inefficient. Whether you use fees or taxes or philanthropy, you end up doing it because of goodwill, because of charity, or to appease your guilt. From a pure Pareto optimal allocation paradigm, investing into commons is not rational. Underfunding commons, however, leads to a suboptimal allocation. One way to overcome that is exactly what we just debated an hour ago. Having a secondary parallel currency system, which is designed to invest into global commons, producing spillovers, positive spillovers for Standard & Poor values and positive spillovers for the state factor, which would increase the productivity in Standard & Poor values and would increase the productivity of the state factor. And this is the real tragedy of the commons. And this is a debate we never had the last 4 years. It's not about free rider. It's not about non-excludability of clean air, etc., etc. This is a hidden debate. The real debate is that we cannot come up with the liquidity to make it happen. Thank you.